tried to, in the last week, give you an idea of what the progressive movement really was and what it is today. Where does history meet the present and possibly our future? We've laid out the problems. I want to talk a little bit about the solutions, and maybe I'm too focused on education is the solution, self-education is the solution. But gentlemen, help me out here. I think once progressivism is exposed for what it truly is, what the roots are, who's involved, what their motivations are, and what they believe the founders were all about, I think it disintegrates. Does anybody disagree with that?
Nope.
RJ?
No, Glenn, the progressives knew that they weren't going to get very far during their own time by citing, Hegel and Marx and the rest of the lot. And so they really tried to put progressivism under the guise of the tradition of the American founding. Franklin Roosevelt did that as well. So to the extent that people become aware of what's really at work in the progressive movement, both of yesterday and today, I think that's the only hope we have.
Go ahead.
At Hillsdale College, where RJ and I both teach, we have a required course on the Constitution. I think if we had colleges and schools across the nation requiring courses on the Constitution, studying the document, what does it say, and then what do other people say that it says?
Right.
And we can study the progressives in that light, and people can see the dichotomy, see how they're different, and go from there.
The interesting thing, Larry, that I see is, if you read Democracy in America, or if you read anything from the 1800s, you will see that people in pubs or in bars or, on the street, in offices, they actually discussed the Constitution. They actually talked about it and said, well, no. And the founders, the most brilliant thing that I think the founders did, when the Constitution is changed, you don't erase anything, you add it. For instance, the progressive prohibition is still in the Constitution. It's just repealed later. So you leave the scars of history so you can see, oh, we made a really bad mistake here. When did we stop talking in public about changing the Constitution, for instance, health care? In the 1930s, FDR said we got to have a second Bill of Rights. When did that happen? When did we unplug, really?
I would say it was sometime in between the end of World War II and the end of the Great Society. That's where you start to lose the concept that you're actually dealing with the Constitution and not just whatever some president or legislature decides it wants to throw in there.
See, give me, if somebody doesn't want their head to hurt, because RJ, I swear to you, I love your book, but it made my eyes bleed. It was, I've never read, it's
you
like...
You look pretty good now. You look like you survived it.
Okay. I was reading it and I'm like, okay, I got to read that paragraph again. What the hell does that even mean?
Well, think of my poor students.
Give me, besides your own books, give me one book each where you say, if you're going to understand something critical for America and its history or the progressive movement, this is what you should read. Anybody?
I'd like the book A Conflict of Visions by Thomas Sowell. It's right there.
This one?
Yes.
Why? What's in it?
Because he outlines what goes behind the thinking of a progressive and what goes behind the thinking of a constitutionalist in the areas of law, in the areas of economics, in all sorts of areas of life. What are they thinking when they come up with the ideas that they have?
Larry?
Liberal Fascism by Jonah Goldberg.
It's
fantastic book.
Unbelievable. RJ?
How about the Federalist Papers? That's what we make our students read at Hillsdale
the one that makes your head hurt.
It's got everything right there.
The one that makes your head hurt.
You got it.
Yeah. You know what the problem is, honestly? I think guys like you, I think we need really smart people that can take the Federalist Papers and rewrite them for the common man. Change the language. I read George Washington's farewell address, which is brilliant, but I don't know how anybody listened to these guys back then, because it's really difficult.
It is.
You know what I mean? If we rewrite these things in common language, people can access them again, a lot
Of
easier.
course, that's what the progressives tried to do, rewrite them so that the common man can understand them.
It's just that the common people are so stupid, you know. We'll be back. Final thoughts in just a second. You know, America, I can't thank you enough for, I mean, Charlie Rose, this show ain't. I can't thank you enough for watching and being interested in the Republic and its history. Because I asked our guests not to promote their own books, I will tell you these 3 books should be read by you. A Patriot's History of the United States, New Deal or Raw Deal, you want to see the future, look at the past, and Woodrow Wilson, The Roots of Modern Liberalism. From New York,